My name is Dean Page, and I'm a certified life coach. I help my clients get perspective, reach their goals, and change their world. I've also had the opportunity to meet a lot of interesting people. People who have had unique careers, built up businesses, and triumphed through adversity. So one day it dawned on me, why not put the two together? Why not start a show where people can tell their stories of building success and rebuilding from adversity, with the intent purpose to encourage, inspire, and inform others who are working on their goals to fulfill their dreams. Now, if I only knew what to call it. Maybe I should make a list. Wait, that's it. The Dean's List. Kinda has a nice ring to it. So I hope you join my guests and I on this upcoming episode of The Dean's List. What do the names Kofi Kingston, Ivar the Viking Raiders, Tommaso Ciampa, and Josh Briggs all have in common? Well, besides being elite sports entertainment superstars, they all give homage to the importance of mastering the fundamentals early in their training, and more specifically, that of their trainer, Mike Coach Hollow. Initially trained by WWE Hall of Famer Walter Killer Kowalski, Mike discovered that he had the ability to teach and to bring out the best in others. And that's what he started to do at Kowalski School, and he continues to do so even today. If you're a pro wrestling fan or someone who's thinking of a career in pro wrestling, Coach Mike Hollow is someone you should definitely have a conversation with. If you're not a fan of pro wrestling per se, but you're looking for tips and ideas on how to stand out from your competition, whether it be in business, arts, or science, wondering how to be more confident or how to excel in your chosen field, then Mike's lessons and insights are for you as well. After all, several times in the podcast, he says he's training his students to be professional wrestlers both inside and outside the ring. I hope you join us today for this very insightful conversation. And oh yeah, there's some really cool Killer Kowalski stories in there too. You have the dream, desire, and talent. Guitar player has the riff, drummer the groove, bass player the vibe. The band has it all. And then you try to do a project. I can help with that. Visit DeanPageLifeCoach.com to see how life coaching can help you design a project plan that works with your group strengths. I help clients get perspective, reach their goals, and change their world. Maybe you could be next.
Hi, this is Tommaso Ciampa, two-time NXT champion, just dropping a note about Coach Mike Hollow. He was my first ever wrestling trainer in the professional wrestling industry, and he is hands down the best when it comes to fundamentals and footwork and in-betweens and psychology. And man, Mike Hollow just knows his stuff. If you are thinking about getting your foot in the door, starting out your wrestling career, look no further. Go to Coach Mike Hollow. If you're looking to just elevate yourself as a performer, take the next step, get a little bit more serious about things from a conditioning standpoint, from an in-ring standpoint, anything, Coach Hollow is the guy to go to. He's now at Next Gen Wrestling Center. Check them out in New England. I can't say enough good things about Coach Hollow. I owe that man a whole lot for where I am today in the business and in life. He's a good dude, and I think that's the best thing I could say about him. He's just a good human being. So.
Do you know, it's interesting. I think I had told you this. One of the times when I was watching, when you were having him do the drills and stuff, yeah, you were doing some type of takedown. One of the kids, I actually thought, and I can say kids because I got 6 decades on me here. So I actually thought he got hurt about 5-6 times. And the reason I thought that was because he was selling that, whoa.
Yeah.
And then he's like, get up and he was fine. And it struck me that here's this guy, he's not going to have to remember to do it or to make it realistic or I literally thought he was like, "Oh, dude, is he okay?" And for me, I thought that was such a visual of Mike Hollow, the coach, that if you're going to do it at all, you're going to do it. You're going to do the whole package all together, right? We're going to work with you there, so that then you don't have to remember that. I mean, I could be wrong, but that was my takeaway on that.
No, it's because it's that it's that perfection piece, right? With where we only have one opportunity to get it right or make an impression with our audience.
Yeah.
And if we don't seize that in a way or a manner with where our actions don't resonate throughout over the ring into the crowd, people aren't going to pay attention. So as I try to instill upon my students, do not give them a reason not to pay attention to you. Now that doesn't mean not be in control or this or that, but what is it with where they cannot take their eyes off of you? Because look at, life is full of distractions, our phones, whatever it may be. So that goes back to those little things with where you believe that person was potentially hurt and they're not, because they were putting the pieces of the puzzle together that were able to captivate your attention in a way with where, geez, he got me.
Wow, that fits in with some of the business books and people, the people writing the books, not the books themselves talking, where they said, be so good that they have to, they have to hire your agency for this ad, or be so good that this or that, or do, all these little things. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I want promotions to hire our talent because they do not the big things, but the small things so exceptionally well. It's like, okay, there's something here that we can continue to build on. And that's what's unique. That's what makes us different. That's what makes level of separation in a healthy way, in a good way, with where, again, I don't mean to repeat myself, both in and out of the ring. So important.
Yeah, but that's also a takeaway people can do. If they can listen to this and go, okay, maybe I'm not going to be a pro wrestler per se, but I want to be this person, or I want to be in this field. You can take the same principles and go, okay, well, are you going to do the little things right?
Yeah.
Are you going to do, are you going to go the extra mile? Are you going to get your review, get constructive feedback and work it or defend it,
right.
but yet still have confidence and not get shattered.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
as far as on that, and some people may just want to be busting you. So to have enough confidence to know when and what.
Right.
And I'm kind of bouncing around, sorry, but for the, I had this outline over here and I'm like, I'm just going to talk to you.
There you
go. When your experience in WWE, I got to ask, who was probably one of the best people to work with, or one of your favorites?
I had the opportunity to work with Double J probably a half a dozen times back when we were doing the dojo shows in the late 90s, early 2000. And that was phenomenal. Just, and I remember the first time I got to work with a star, and that was Tito Santana. And I was this young indie guy, doing all this stupid stuff, and, finally have an opportunity to work with him and put things in perspective in the right place and the right time, and listening to an audience, and working with a ring general that really knew his way around. And after it was all said and done, that light went off my head and said, geez, that was totally different from what I've been doing. So those moments stick with me. And so that's, and a bunch of others, but those two in particular.
I know when people do like concerts, a lot of times people think, I'll just do just songs, but you really, if you do a concert, you want to think of the beginning, the middle, or the end. There's a progression. It's not just this one song. Well, maybe for some people, but in theory, those who have lasted a long time, and it kind of sounds similar. I know you've talked about knowing when to put all the pieces together, I remember seeing some interviews like of Charlotte where she was watching some of her matches and goes, they reacted. I should have waited. I should have, instead of going right into my next move, I should have let that build.
Yes.
Is that part of the equation? Is that part of what you teach? And is that
Absolutely. Right. I mean, God, take the word mileage and get the most out of it. I mean, it creates longevity in your career. It garners interest with your audience. It allows them to enjoy with what's going on in front of them. Take a blank canvas, paint a picture. When it's all said and done, after it's 8 or 10 minutes, and the audience was able to look at that canvas and say, "That's a beautiful picture," or "That was a beautiful match," and
Hmm.
or it's like going to a 5-star restaurant. You know,
Yeah.
enjoy every bite. Right?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Let the people truly appreciate your work. And if you do some cool stuff, great, fantastic. But don't go just from point A to point B just for the sake of going there. Create that emotional vested interest with where um, they want to come back and see more. So again, it just goes back to understanding your audience and little things and getting the most out of the least, and it helps with the longevity of your career as well. With what we do takes a toll on your body. So if you can take 4 bumps in a match instead of 12, that goes a long way. You've only got so many bumps you can take during the course of your career with where the body says no more. So think long and hard with where you put those special moments with where it resonates, and it garners that emotion when the referee finally goes to count 3. And did you get the response? That's what I always paid attention to. I didn't care if I was winning or losing. When that referee finally counted 3, my ears were perked up, and I wanted to hear. I wanted to listen to with what they told me on the 3 count.
What are the reaction?
What was the
Wow, because
reaction?
that's the feedback.
That's all I'm working for, right? That's
Wow.
all I'm working for. Okay? Selfishly, I wanted to know whether I was going over or whether I was doing a job. But that's with what our business is: emotional reaction of vested interest. And I oftentimes, with where I didn't get with what I wanted, I'd go back and say, geez, what did I miss there? What could I have taken out? What could I have added? Could I have lived in
Mhm.
that moment, that much longer, with where it resonated with the audience, with where they became that much more emotionally attached to when whether I was a baby face or a heel, you know, they were either with me or against me, but they were with us.
Yeah, they were invested one way
Yeah.
or the other.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Which again can translate it back when you talk about in the ring, out of the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because you know this is a great. Oh, I got this great ad campaign. It's the best ever. Well, they didn't like it. Well, do you take the moment to go, okay, what could I have done better, or what were they looking for?
Mm.
I mean, you can tell I've been reading about some of you as an ad agency. Can you tell?
Yeah.
But that was one of the things he said initially. They listened to the customer. What do they want? And then tried to come up with creative ideas so it wasn't always the same old, same old.
Mm-hmm.
As far as on that.
A friend of mine said to me, we talk about audiences, and he'd spent a lot of time working out in the Las Vegas area. And if you think of the 6 o'clock audience, the 9 o'clock audience, and then the 11 o'clock audience, they're all vastly different, right?
Wow.
And
Yeah.
being able to understand that room or how to work that room with where you're getting the most out of them. So when they leave, you were able to give them with what they wanted.
Who do you see that is getting ready to go to the next level, or to everybody?
Yeah,
They listen to me.
yeah, everybody. All of them in their own unique way are finding their way to turn that page. Some different than others. Some are having quicker growing opportunities than others, but each one of their individual journeys is unique in their own. So it's kind of hard for me to say, and they're all the same to me. I appreciate all of them. I appreciate their interest and their willingness to put up with a guy like me that sometimes can be gruff, and and be a pain in the neck. But I think all of them are doing well.
Out of the WFA, then. I know. Maybe I should have said it that way. Well, I was hesitating, going, I want to get the question right. I know what I mean.
Again, I can think of, I think of Mosh Pit. Look at
Mhm.
with where how far he's come. He's done tremendously well. I'm happy for him. He's great to work with. A wonderful guy. Great to have in the locker room. I get to spend a lot of time with him before shows, just talking and so forth, and kind of understanding with where he's at, and so forth and so on. Um, I've spent a lot of time with Spencer Slade and Anthony Katina and others, and
Mhm.
all of those guys have been great. And getting them to know them as individuals, but also as talent to challenge them in a way, but so they're progressing. So that the roster itself, has a lot of good talent that has a lot of good opportunity ahead of all of them if they continue to keep after it. And so the ball's really in their court. We'll continue to give them and support them as much as we can. And hopefully opportunities, in some way, shape, or form are presented, in a larger scale, going forward.
As you were saying that, I'm thinking, when we taught martial arts, you always had different belt ranks.
Yeah.
So, you know, they were really, somebody may have been really, really good at the green belt level, and somebody may be ready at the brown belt.
Yeah.
But if you weren't really good at the green belt, you're not going to get the brown belt.
Yeah.
So I mean, I might want to edit that question now.
No
So
worries.
it was supposed to be to give out a shout outs or
Yeah, and
stuff.
maybe
But
that's the Belichick with me. We're all, it's
that's all right. No, you actually have a person. I'm from Texas, but got to remember that.
yeah,
You have the dream, desire, and talent. Everyone knows you have the work ethic. You have the best instruments, music instructors, and compositions. What about overcoming the challenges that are a risk to your incredible potential? I can help with that. Visit DeanPageLifeCoach.com. I help clients get perspective, reach their goals, and change their world. Maybe you could be next. When you did for WFA, obviously we've talked a lot about the in-ring talent, the wrestlers, male and female, blah blah blah. What about the refs and other players? Does the school have stuff for them too as
absolutely,
well?
absolutely. Refs, managers, production.
Production too.
Yeah, production. Working with Caleb behind the scenes, camera guys, ring
Uh-huh.
announcers, and again, as I was saying earlier, there's opportunities that are vast. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do in our business. Social media, marketing, um, ring announcing, even, ring crew, right? I mean, we've all done all of that stuff. So I think that's what makes us with where, hey, if you're willing to try this, we'll give you an opportunity to try it. That's what makes us different.
Wow, that's kind of cool. And I'm sure you give feedback too.
Yeah, I sit. I try to. I mean, obviously, I'm better at some things than others, but again, for me, it's being able to look at little different things and point different things out. Whether it's how you're standing in the ring, your delivery, if you're a ring announcer, if you're doing interviews, if you're a referee, you're out of the way, you're not in the way. You're an authority figure opposed to being that non-authority figure. So all of that stuff comes into play because it plays a part of the presentation of the entire show and what are people are seeing and with what are they feeling and saying, geez, that group from top to bottom, dots their I's and crosses their T's.
Which again is kind of the your mantra there, pretty much about is do all the little things right.
Yeah, it's with what drives the machine, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not the big stuff. It's the little things that keep the wheels turning with where those type of things resonate with people, with which garners interest with where they want to come back for more. Right? It's the nuances, it's the little pieces. It's why it allows us to connect with audiences because it's we do those things exceptionally well.
So for the upcoming year, and this question I actually don't I don't know ahead of time. Some of them I kind of do, But for 20, I guess I should say the year 2024, for the upcoming year, we'll say it that way.
Yeah.
What's the plans as far as for school wise and then also for WFA?
I'm really excited about 2024. I think it was good with what we were able to do in 2023. I thought there was a lot of learning opportunities for us as a business on both sides. Did a lot of things well, did some things wrong. A lot of takeaways, which is I think is healthy for any business, both the school and the promotion. It kind of gives us some real clarity with where we want to go in 2024, aspiration wise, with the school and with the promotion. I'm excited for both with where things are go. I think independent wrestling and with the merger of Endeavor and WWE, I think that's going to change the climate of independent wrestling throughout the country, which I'm excited about. So yeah, it's I think it's going to be great.
So now you're going to be doing looks like you got some shows. I know you started to do some in Mass. Is
Yeah.
that going to be Massachusetts?
Yep. We'll
So is that going to continue?
we'll continue down that road. It's I think the Brewery Avenue has created some opportunity for us and some interest that's really perked up, on the South Shore area with where those businesses are looking for some different sorts of types of entertainment, and with where we've been able to connect well with the two shows that we've done down there. Um, I'm still excited about Concord. I think Concord could be a great home base. I think there's some things that maybe we should look at maybe doing a little bit differently, but I think it's very doable there. And so, like I said, I'm excited about 2024 because of the takeaways that we've been able to learn and really kind of keep us going in the right direction. So 2023 was good for us in that aspect.
Mm-hmm. It was good. The Concord facility is incredible too.
Yeah, it's I've had different people come in from different organizations, and it's awesome. It's a wonderful place. It's a great place to train. The gym there, and I think with what we do from a teaching standpoint or show wise, if I was an independent guy, it's a girl. It's with where I'd want to be, and I don't say that with just because I'm there. It's just that I think that there's something about us that's different from everybody else in a healthy way.
The way it's set up too. I mean, you got obviously the whole thing. And plus you have where you do the shows there. You have, and I'm telling you what you already know, but you have the ramp. You have the whole thing there set up, and it's sometimes like when I was visiting you and watching. I'm thinking it reminded me of a time of when Triple H was talking about, like, he had some people from NXT. They came to one of the big shows and they were real nervous. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, wait a minute. It's just like what we do. It's just bigger.
Larger version.
And they relax and realize that thing. And I remember him saying, that's exactly what I wanted, so that they'd get the idea. Now we just kind of go on. So, and that's what it seems like, especially at the school where you're practicing in a place where they have shows too. So,
it works. Yep, it's good.
Yeah, it's like practicing on a stage versus in a loft. If you're a musician,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. As far as on that, cool. What's the best thing about what you do?
What's the best
for you personally?
I get to impact people in a way with where, and I've said this over the years, and I say it to students, and I'm very honest and candid when I say it, and I don't mean to say it in a way with where it comes across in a negative way. Not everybody's going to go on to be WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor superstar. But, with what we're able to create or help influence in a manner or in a way with where students are able to find their way, self-confidence, belief, ending up in a better place than with where before they came to see us. You can't put a price tag on that from a monetary standpoint to create with where they end up becoming completely, different over a period of time. So that's probably the most rewarding thing for me, is being able to see them just to flourish in a way that's they're in so much of a better place, personally and professionally.
That's so cool. You can be a little gruff when you got that attitude too, right? Because you're like, well, he's being gruff because he's not because he's gruff, but because he cares.
Yeah, it's
Which that was
yeah,
that was evident.
it's someone's entrusting they're entrusting me. So I have to have those traits, because if not, I'm doing a disservice, and I'm not being honest. And you know, let's face it, there's a lot of dishonesty throughout our country, throughout the world. If I could be one piece of it, with where it was someone's shooting straight with me and telling me the truth and doing it in a manner with where it's constructive and healthy and not abusive, I think that's the part that separates. I want to be a professional, or am a professional.
Yeah, well, and that's a good, actually, that's a that's a real good lesson now that you can say, listen, you can get corrected, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be an attack.
Yeah, and I say it,
it's
it's never personal, right?
yeah, it seems to
God,
be a little bit of loss right now.
yeah, if I'm not saying anything, that's when I would be really concerned. But
What I do.
You'd rather have me chirping at you and saying, "Geez, he's after me," and it's because it's what's best for you.
Yeah, and I'm sure you see the potential.
Yeah,
You're saying, nope, fix your stance.
yeah.
I remember you talked a lot about footwork when I was watching. I'm like,
Well, clumsy feet equal ugly feet, and if you can be
Wow.
as fluid and eloquent on your movements and your steps and your movements, and it's just you watch a quarterback, and he doesn't have happy feet back out, when he's coming out of the pocket. I mean, he's pretty confident with where he's going and with what he's doing and where that ball's going. Same thing for us, right? Are you confident on your feet? Where your feet go, your body go.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true. You're trying to work a Tom Brady thing in here, aren't you?
I am.
I can tell.
because he'll tell you it's mechanics. And if you're a mechanic so well, I mean, I had a friend of mine a long time ago said to me, I can tell if a guy or girl can work by just watching their feet. And that's probably one thing that just stuck with
Wow.
me forever. And I said,
Wow,
and I
that's
said to him, well, what do
powerful.
you mean by that? He says, look, we don't need clumsy people in the ring. It's there needs to be a sense of gracefulness. So that's
That's
just
powerful.
yeah. So that's one thing that always kind of stuck with me, that I thought was important. And considering with where it came from, I really hung my hat on that.
Well, it's a foundation too.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. He was a
I mean,
pretty smart guy.
I think trying to catch people jumping off the top ropes tough enough without having your feet in the wrong position.
Yeah. Or not knowing how to get there.
Yeah. So as far as on that end of it. All right. Well, I do appreciate you taking the time. For your contact information, for the Elite Pro Wrestling School.
Yeah, it's Elite Pro Wrestling Academy.com
Academy.
and hollowstables.net. You can find Scott and I at Scott at Elite, me at hollowstables.net. We're all in it together, and so it's one big happy family, and trying to make a difference, and getting the best out of everybody.
Okay, and then also WFA. People want to know about that.
WFA, I think at .com. I don't know that off the top of my head. Shame on me, but I believe
We'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, yeah. But I just want to say thank you for reaching out, and that for me to do this. I always enjoy these. It's great to be able to have back and forth conversation, and talk about different things that are important to me, and maybe can enlighten you a little bit about the things that make me tick and how I look at things. So it's create some clarity across the board. So I always think that's always fun and entertaining.
That's great. Well, absolutely an honor. We got to do dinner again sometime.
Fair enough. Excellent. Very good. I appreciate it.